everybody. Welcome to the new season vlog. Literally, me and him have just been sitting. I could not get this to work for an hour, and I was going to smash my laptop up.
Yeah, it's 10 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock on a Sunday night. The dedication is starting right from the get-go. He's in a stinker because he's in a heavy day at work, but needs must be. It's
back,
the first
man.
one back, mate.
Don't forget me, I've not just had a heavy day at work. I'm starting working 8 hours again. But look, it's all for the podcast. We can't help it.
Mate, it's the best shows out there now, mate. So we need to get it done and get it out there, especially for opening weekend of the season.
Honestly, I've been buzzing for this all day just to sit and talk about games. It's been months since we've done this. I'm absolutely buzzing. What a weekend it was and all to start off. But before we get into it, let's give our wee sponsor a shout out for Jordan Rennie. Some of you might know who Jordan is. He does the graphics for Darvel. He did them for Canvas Line, also does them for us. Check him out at Jordan AR1995 on Twitter. His stuff's top class. He loves this level. He sponsored a couple of players recently and that. He's just been a great help for us. So go check him out if you need any graphics done. He's literally the best about it.
Brilliant boy, mate. Brilliant boy. He's always been top quality with us. So brilliant. Thanks, Jordan, mate.
Yeah, I'm going to go to my bed now, right? I'll see you later.
Catch you later, my man. Right, now I'll deal with the football, mate. Let the real man deal with the football.
Right, so let's get into it then, my man. Because I'm fucking fast, man.
So see watching you having a kid on it, you're in a good mood.
Oh, mate, I'm so tired, man, honestly. But Premier League, it was not a good day for the home teams. It was not a good day for the home teams. Not a single home team won yesterday. Oh, let's go for it. Arthurlie 1, Clydebank 3, Cambuslang 1, Bees 3, Darvel 1, Cumnock 2, Hurlford 0, Rob Roy 0, Meda 1, Colwynn 3, Largs 1, Glenafton 1, Petershill 1, Pollock 3, Troon 1, Talbot 2. Whilst I try and get the league tables up on my phone, tell us how the Pollock game went.
Pollock game, mate. See, I'll be honest, and I thought Petershill were very good on the day, mate. They caused us a lot of problems. They were good. They came out the traps. Dale Hepburn and that up front causes a lot of problems and that. So, no, I was impressed with them. They were doing the numbers a wee bit as well, and I think that's maybe just what maybe worked in our favour at the end. We were able to bring some fresh legs on, which gave us that wee bit extra bit of quality and that wee jag maybe that the team needed at the time, and we had the options there on the bench. And I think the gaffer changed the shape. We decided to change the shape at half time, which helped, and I think the gaffer got his changes, that he's done well with his changes, and the guys coming on have made an impact and set up the goals and stuff. So no, it was a very tough game, mate. It was Peasy made it very difficult for us. They were very good, mate. I thought they done really, really well. And but for us to go up there, no play at our best, we'll play much better. We need to get much better. You can still tell it's the first game of the season. Some new boys are breading in. They're still just trying to get back into the groove of things. But listen, we've went up and won the game 3-1. Delighted to get the 3 points and we move on to next week. But it's good to get half the mark early and start with an away win, mate.
That's the thing. Gets his joint after league as well with Beath, Clydebank and Colwynn. I saw the goals the day. It was typical that Stephen Dock scored the first goal right early on, wasn't it? It was just all great first game.
The first goal, he's took it so well, mate.
His first touch
was immaculate. It's a great Bobby Burnsy, and his first touch is different class, and he's went on and done the finish on his weaker side as well, which was good. Should have scored right after it. I know he had a chance right in half time, and McNeil's pulled off a good save, but wee Doc, he was quite subdued about it. He was good about it. He done the whole night celebrating. A few boys had a wee word in his ear, but that was respectful to Petershill. But Petershill in the day had their chances, mate, and they done really well, and it wasn't a great performance for us, and we would have wanted to play better. But the most important thing is getting 3 points on the board, mate, and that's what we've done.
Definitely. Good start to the season, please.
Yeah.
There's 38 games, so I apologise if we completely miss games out because it's just too many for us to go through, but we'll try and get through the bulk of them. League champions losing to Cumnock at home.
Yeah.
I watched the highlights. I seen a wee bit on Twitter. Mick was saying that first half he was saying they played poor, second half they were a lot better and they had countless chances. I only watched the highlights, so I can only go off of what I seen on the highlights. To me, it looked like Cumnock had the better of the chances. Big Jamie Bartley made a couple of great saves, but Cumnock looked good. And I said it before. See, Graham Boyd, great signing for them. He'll score goals, man. Good player.
Jordan Moore and all looks like it caused them lots of problems and all, mate. So I think that I watched the highlights myself and it looked a good game. To be fair, it looked end-to-end stuff. It seemed a good wee atmosphere and stuff. Obviously, Darvel went down to 10 men with Jinky getting sent off as well.
What's your view on it, Kurt?
I think it's a red card. I think he kind of.
I think they got lucky.
He doesn't make pure connection or doesn't make a pure contact with the player, but the fact that he jumps up with 2 feet off the ground and kind of goes in with a double footer, then it makes it a bit easier for the ref. I think it definitely is a red card, and obviously going down to 10 men. But that's probably one of the results of the day for me. No saying that I didn't. Cumnock are going to be a different animal this season, but for me, just with being Flag Day down there, they've won the league. It's the champions. Darvel are a very good side. I think it's a brilliant result for Cumnock, and they've showed that they're all about, man. They've got resilience, they work hard, they've got quality there as well, and for them to go, what a confidence, what a way to start the season and get your confidence going right for the get-go. It's a top result, one of my top results of the day.
I thought it was an absolute cracking result for them. I think I said it in the preview show. I think it's going to be so hard for Darvel because you know what it's like with Darvel having the chat of all the money and everything, and everybody's got a kind of wee bee in their bonnet for them. And I think certain circumstances for last year, I think people are gunning for them even more. And Mick will know that, and the players will know that.
See the thing is, mate. See the thing is with Darvel, right? This is the thing, right? It's the first game of the season. If you remember back to last season, Darvel didn't have a.
Mate, I'm going to put it out there now. They'll not win the league after
that. Mate, that is what some people are crazy would think. But the Darvel didn't have a great start. As you said, there's hundreds of games to go. But one thing it does show you is this season there's no games that you think that it's going to be a walk in the park for somebody. Do you know what I mean? I think that Cumnock have shown what quality they've got, and then there's some other results in there as well that shows that the quality is very good this season, and there'll be definitely loads and twists and turns as it goes along, and teams beating each other.
The thing is, you mentioned Jordan Moore. I thought he looked excellent as well, just for the highlights. Thought he looked very sharp. See the two of them up front, they've got Brendan Sharp on the bench. They come on at times. It's a really good front line they've got.
Big Bartley, I know, as you say, mate, had a couple of great stops, mate, to be fair to him. But listen, when you go down to Darvel and you need, if you want to take anything for the game, you need your goalie to make a few big saves, and you're going to need your back three or back four or whatever formation you play. You need them to be stone up and be counted and make blocks and a bit of last-ditch defending in there, and that's what they've done at times. But by God, what a start of the season for Cumnock.
Aye, and you're spot on, mate. See, like for me, because Cumnock are much better. I think they're going to be much better than last year. You're even looking at like Rob Roy going and getting a draw away for Hurlford. I mean, Max had the great end to the season last year with him. Looks like they've started off where they finished. They're going to be a difficult team, and they'd be considered one of the lower teams. They're still going to be really difficult to beat. Largs and Glenafton drawn, two teams who have shown they can go and take points.
Yeah,
it's going to be cracking.
I think all the teams are very well organised and very well coached and drilled. So there's not going to be any pure comfortable easy games for any club this season. I think every team's got good management teams in place and good players at their clubs. So I think every game's going to be difficult and every team's going to cause the other team problems because they've got good players there that can do that.
Definitely. We touched on Petershill playing yourselves and new boys. Arthurlie, the invincible champions last year, first game of the season they lose, but that's a step up in level. Clydebank 3-1. It's going to be really difficult this year for them, I think, after having such a good season. Obviously Andy's away now and Palmer's in charge. It's going to be a hard one for them, but again, they're another team that will cause teams issues. It was just knowing their day yesterday.
Clydebank are a good side, right? And we all know that, and that's a very tough game for us, like the first game of the season. And what Clydebank were last season as well, they're a very good team away from home and all. You know what I mean? They're very good away from home. They've got they've got players that can break quickly and cause problems, especially if you're the home team and you've got a bit of the ball. If they can get the ball off you and spring you dead quickly, then they've got players that can hurt you. But listen, I awfully be disappointed to lose a game, and it's the first game at home, and I'm sure there'd have been a big crowd at that and stuff. But Clydebank are a very good side that you expect to be up there in that top 3 or 4 in the league. So it's no, and for long spells it was probably eachy peachy game, and it looked like, I think Morph said it himself, the first half was quite like that, and then Clydebank have been a bit better in the second half. So no, I don't think it's a disgrace, and I think Arthurley will definitely cause team problems.
Definitely. Cambuslang, the other new boys, getting beat off a B 3-1. Straney's first game in charge in the new season. Good win for Beith, going away. I do think Cambuslang will struggle this year. I think that they've lost too many good players, too many goals with Gemmell and Scott Williamson going away. But it's a good win for Beith.
Great win for Beith, and King Kenny getting 2 goals, mate.
Aye, I know.
I mean, the guy
he's about 700 years old now.
The guy keeps going on, and it just shows you how much a legend he is doing at that club. And our 2 goals for him to start the new campaign, and well done to Kenny, Beith, and well done to Straney. It's always, as I said, for ourselves, and he'll be the same. It's always good to get off the mark very quickly with your first 3 points. It's always that good wee Brucey bonus.
And you've got the kind of localish derby, Cowan beating the Meda 3-1. That's a big result for Gorms. There's been a couple of wee rumours flying about that there might have been an eligible player because there was a big backlog with players' forms getting put through. But I don't know if there's I'm sure it told me, but I don't know if there's any truth in it, in the same yourself. But that's the rumour kind of about. Hopefully,
listen,
if you don't want that to start after the season like that.
No, because you don't want to see anything like that. But at the same time, Cowan and Nuv went down, and as far as we know, they've won the game, and Tam Collins getting a double. It's a very good result. It's a local derby. It was local bragging rights for Cowan, and it's a great away win to start the season for them. But we need to wait and see if there's any truth in that rumour that there's been a suspended player playing in the game. But I don't know. But anyway, if it's not the case, or it is the case, I don't know. But the time that is the now, as much as we know, Cowan have done really well. It's a great result for them. Great start for Gorms and his team. And there's not much else I can say, but that's a top result for them.
Right, we'll move on to the first division. The absolute mental division there it is. Number 3, Rossvale 2, Bonnyton 0, Johnson Borough 2, Cumbernauld 4, Drumchapel 2, Kilburn 1, Neilson 1, Glencairn 0, Gartcairn 0, Shotts 0, St Cadoc 1, Thornywood 1, Blantyre 3, Whitlets 2, The Rock 0. For me, Kilburn Neilson was the big one of the day. On a par maybe with Shotts and St Cadoc, that was a big one for me. 1 each. Honours evens, there's not much you can say about it. I think it's a really good point for Neilson. I think it's a really good point for me.
See, be honest with you, mate, I spoke to Tommy last night. I was talking to Tommy, and he said for the first 45 minutes, he says Neilson gave them a bit of a down, mate. He says that Neilson should have been probably out of sight, and he says that obviously Kilburn were a lot better in the second half. So I think that draws a decent result there for both teams. But you know what Tommy, you know what Chris are like. If they don't want to be drawing games, but especially with the fans not being at that game as well. Do you know what I mean? That would have been a good game for the fans to be at, and a good atmosphere.
Is it the first 3 games? Is it?
I can't remember. I thought it was the first 2, but I'm not too sure, to be honest.
Probably told me. I can't even remember. I spoke to him about it
earlier. I think Kilburn had the numbers down a wee bit as well, but Neilson and Kilburn will be good. Two big sides and good sides battling out this year, and that just shows you. It just shows you how tight some of the teams are. That it's a 1 each draw to start the season off.
See, for me, Neilson, I don't think Neilson will finish in the top 3. I said that in the preview show, but I genuinely think Neilson are the type of team that could have a big say on what happens, because, like you said, they're the type of team that can go and take points off of teams.
I think they'll surprise you more than what you think. I think that Chris has assembled a good side there, and I think Saturday's probably result and performance in large spells from what I heard even for Tommy and the opposition manager, then they're going to be a good side in that league next year. Yeah.
We had the probably league favourites, St Cadoc, beating Shotts 1-0. I was talking to Ali Martin today, and he was saying that he thought Shotts matched them, was probably the better side for spells there. But St Cadoc's got a goal, Grant Anderson scoring. See, when you've got guys like Grant, even though Grant's maybe 34 or 35 now, he's still a quality player and he's going to his team's issue. Same with Chris Erskine, he must be no too dissimilar age, but a lot of quality and guys like that, you know what I mean?
I think St Cadoc's maybe struggling a wee bit defensively, but it's fair play to them. They've kept a clean sheet because Big McGee and all that, and the strikers up in Shotts, they can cause you a bit of problems. But as you say, from middle to front, they've got quality. They've got boys that have been senior and been there and done it, and they've got real good players that's going to get goals. So for them, Shotts is always a tough place to go to. Great facility, great park, but John's a good manager, and he'll have them well organised. But it's a great start for them, and it's 3 points in an away game, and every week's a bumper in that league.
Definitely. We'll go to your wee outside shot for the year, which is Johnson Borough, 3-0 at Bonneton. I think Bonneton will struggle, to be fair. I think if I was probably, we spoke about this, where we could change quite a few teams that we said would go up and down and stuff, just because of the nature of it. If I could change, I'd probably swap Bonneton with Whitlets. I think Bonneton might struggle again this year. I think the league below might be their level. Without seeing them, that is. But the Borough,
it's early days, isn't it? It's only the first day of the season, mate. And for a lot of clubs, and even ourselves, we found that there's a lot of boys on holiday still and missing, and you know what I mean. There's boys still away and holidays, and boys that aren't quite fit yet, or maybe picked up wee niggles in pre-season because of the demands of pre-season and that. So I think in the next few weeks, I think you'll see teams and squads start to settle down a wee bit more.
But again, great result for the Borough.
The Borough, mate, I think Borough are going to have a good season. They've got a front three that are young, and of course teams a lot of problems, mate, and they've got the 3 goals between them again on Saturday, and I think that Jamie has got a good side down there, and they're solid and well organised at the back. So they've got all the ingredients to have a good season. It's a good start for them. 3 goals away from home, an away win, and a clean sheet, mate. All you can ask for.
My outside bet for this season, Blantyre, good start for them, 3-1.
Excellent start, down to 10 men, isn't it?
10 men, I think it was 2-1 at the time when they were doing it 10 men.
Big Craig Kerr gets sent off, so for them down there, I know how difficult it is to go down to Robertson Park, because I know how good the team that Nizzy and Dolzy and that have assembled down there, and they're a good side at home. So for Blantyre, it's kind of a local derby feel. So for Blantyre to go there, first game of the season, great start for Gibby. They've ended up winning the game with 10 men. Shows a lot about their character this season, with our new players in the mix, and well done to Blantyre. Great result.
Yeah, great result for them. We'll finish. Oh, sorry, no, I nearly missed this one. Great result, Cumbernauld 4, Drumchapel 2. What a result that is for Cumbernauld.
Belter, an absolute belter. Well
you know the quality that the Drum have got. That's a great result for Cumbernauld.
Oh, brilliant result to score 4 goals against the Drum. Great start for Cumbernauld, and it just shows you you just can't really, you can't pick a standout team, because everybody is capable on their day of beating everybody. Do you know what I mean? And the Drum are more than capable to go to their next game and they do that to another team. That's just how mad match the league is. But it's going to be some viewing. But what a result for Tony and his boys. Great start to the season, and well done.
Aye, definitely. Finish up with Whitlets beating the Rock 2-0. I think
Beach body.
After
Candy fans with the beach balls, they always take the beach balls down there.
You see their flares and all that outside.
Brilliant, mate.
Class into it. I honestly can't wait to go down.
Love the Candy Ultras, mate. Love it.
Yeah, just the crowd they've got is class. But that's a huge win for Whitlets for me. That's I think I was probably too rash in saying that they'll go down. It was more like I didn't really know who else to say. But I think that's a huge result for them, and because it's going to be such a tough league, picking up 3 points. And see if they can put 2 or 3 wins together the new.
Yeah,
that could stand them in good stead for the season.
Yeah. I think that it's a good. Listen, any beating any of Davy Gregg's Rock teams is a very good result, because the way he's got his teams normally playing and battling. So I think give the Rock a few weeks to get maybe an extra couple of bodies in, and I think the Rock will be picking up the results as well. But that's a good result for Whitlets, and it looked still as if Candy had a good away day, even though I know that Davy will not be happy with the result because he's an absolute winner. But it's the first game of the season, they'll just look to bounce back next week. But well done to Whitlets on that. Big good atmosphere would have been doing it down Park on Saturday, and what a way to open it with having the Candy down, because they'll always, as you say, bring that good support down.
Definitely. Right, move on to Division 2. Ardeer 1, Glasgow Uni 2, Ashfield 2, Craigmark 3, Forth 0, Maple 1, Glasgow United 2, Perthshire 0, Maryhill 0, Muirkirk 4, Renfrew 2, Kilsyth 1, the Ants 1, Wishaw 1, Yoker 2, Greenock 0. We will both, I think you'll agree with me, we'll probably both take Yoker out the bottom 3.
That was a boo-boo, mate.
I think we've just done what I did with Whitlets.
I want to apologise to Gordon and not Yoker, because I think I've got that terribly wrong, and I don't even know what I was thinking. I think I must have been on the Henry West Insider or something that day.
It's a good result for him. I know that Nixon's he's had to rebuild that team pretty much. He's got a lot of young boys, and I speak to him quite regularly. He was saying he's really, because we had a chat, it was like, how are you going to go for it this year? And he's like, young boys, and I'm going to try and play football. And he's like, I'm going to stick to my guns. And I was like, fair enough, mate. I says, good on you. And it'll work at times. At times they'll lose games because they're young, but at times they can go and take a few alpha teams.
I love that. See, you just stick to your principles all the time, and then the players, there's no grey area. Just stick to your principles, and you're hoping that they'll learn and they'll pick it up quickly and all that. But what they've got is they've got a lot of young boys, and the consistency levels will maybe go up and down a wee bit. But what the boys need to do is they need to realise that it's cutthroat and all, do you know what I mean? You need to get results for how well. I was talking to Dale and all, the assistant down there, and for all well good you play well in spells, you need to get results as well. But they've got a young team, and they'll be very competitive, and they'll pick up results as well. But Yoker, it's a great way for them to start the season, a 2-0 win, a clean sheet, and that's on top of a good pre-season and all, do you know what I mean? So they're looking very good and very well organised. To be honest with you, I've booed there, because Gordon, that's shown last season with what they've done with his team and that, how good.
Hardly lost since he's been there in the 2 years.
I
think we just went with, I don't really know who else to say, so we'll say them. But let's see, we have gone to Saracen Park, Ashfield pushing Craigmark all the way. That's an unlucky one. I thought at one point, because I was at work and I was looking at the results, basically I spent my full day just trying to get through Twitter to see all the results, and I thought for a while we were maybe going to get something out of that, which that's not a terrible result. I mean, obviously they'd want the point, so a point, but Craigmark were one of the best teams in that league, and that's not a terrible.
Well, the boy Connolly's got a hat-trick. I watched the highlights today, and it's a very, very good hat-trick from. See, being honest with you, for Craigmark's a top result, because they've went 1-0 up, and then Ashfield, credit to Ashfield, the goals that have scored on Ashfield. See the free kick, man, boy Perry scored some free kick. Ashfield, they've went 2-1 up, and the second one's a penalty, and Craigmark went down to 10 men.
Aye, that's
right. Ashfield, they've went 2-1 up, and against 10 men. You're looking to probably go and see the game through, see the game out. But I think the problem was with Ashfield, they conceded quite soon after they'd scored the penalty. I think they've conceded within a few minutes, and then that's probably just put the wee bit of doubt in the players' mind, and they've ended up losing the game 3-2 to a late goal. But great result for Craigmark, shows the resilience in that to get down to 10 men and win it. I'm gutted for McNack, because that would have been a great result for them, but probably loads of positives for the team, especially coming back and being 2-1 in the lead. But I'm gutted, because you know I'm an Ashfield boy and all, do you know what I mean? So, but it sounds a right bumper of a game, I know. So it looks a right good first game.
It's a good one to start the season. Going to Forth, playing Mabel, I'd kind of swithered on which one of them were going to be, they were going to be in about top 3. It's a tight game there where I think 2 of the stronger sides in the league, Mabel getting a good win away from home.
It's a good one. 4th's a very hard place to go to, and as you say, tip 4th to go up there around about. So for Mabel to go there and win that first game of the season and put out a wee statement themselves. So well done to them, good result.
Aye, definitely. Going to the league favourites, or their favourites anyway, won the league. Renfrew 2-1 win against Kilsyth. 2 penalties they scored. I'm not sure how the game went, just based off of Twitter. So it's a good 3 points, because I think that Kilsyth will be a bit better, even though they're kind of in a transition period. I think that they'll be a wee bit better this season.
See, for any team just to get off the mark and win their first game, because the boys aren't there 100% yet. I know everybody's quite at it and not quite there fitness-wise and match sharpness-wise. So to pick up a win in the first game of the season for any team, regardless of how you've played, some teams have probably played really well and no took nothing out of the game, and you would much rather have the 3 points in the board. Do you know what I mean? Every manager would. So I Renfrew just be delighted just to get 3 points to the board, and if it's the 2 penalties, then you take that. Do you know what I mean? You take that and you move on. You get another week's training to work on things and that, and it's a good start for them.
Aye, definitely. Glasgow Uni beating Ardea. I actually fancied them to do something that yesterday. It's
as I said, mate, I always think they're going to be. I don't know if I miss, but tell you what, it's a top result for Martin. And his first competitive game as manager. Congratulations to him. Always a hard place to go to Ardea, and with Ardea Ultras and that, they don't make it easy for you. And Sean's assembled a good side down there. So for him to go down there with his team and win the game and come back up the road, it's a great start for them. It shows you that they're going to definitely have a bit about them. So no, well done to the Uni.
On that, with a new management team carrying that on, Glasgow United beating Perthshire 2-0. Rab getting his first win in charge there. That's a good result, because Perthshire are a funny team. I think they can be quite hit and miss. At times they can be really good, but I also think they kind of struggle sometimes with their squad and that. But it's a good result then.
To be honest with you, it's like, mate, I think, mate, a lot of clubs, mate, see boys, mate, they miss football far too frequently, mate. It's like, I mean, like, years back when we played, you never ever missed football, but now players seem to miss football quite a lot, or no be there, or dip in and out of football and stuff. So it's very difficult for a lot of clubs out there to try and keep their squad and their players together. But that would have probably been a tasty wee number, I'd imagine. But a good result, a clean sheet for Glasgow United, the first day of the season. Always brilliant to build on. A 2-0 win, kind of local Glasgow derby, feel about it, and well done to them and all.
Right. On to another new manager. No so good for Mark at Maryhill, losing 4-0 to Muir Cup. My favourite promotion team. That was quite a convincing win, and even that wee Berlin and Jamie Gray get 2 goals. So there you go, mate.
Oh, was it? I thought it was the other boy. Was it no Harrison get 2 goals?
Aye, and Jamie get 2.
Was it? No, I knew he get 2. I just didn't want to give him the credit, mate.
I was so happy to see that he scored.
What's he claiming? He was playing right back.
Aye, right back. Look, mate, that's something I experienced as well. See, the worse you get, the older you get, you just drop back.
That's nonsense. It means he wasn't doing any defending.
I know, but that's what.
No, it's tough, mate. I'm gutted for Mark, but as I've said, I think in his time, I think he's had to assemble a full new team, and he's got quite a lot of young players there, which you need to hear him a wee bit of time. But at the same time, I know what he's like as a person. He'll not be happy about losing that game. He'll not need me to tell him. But Muirkirk are a good side, and Kevin's always got good players there. I've seen they signed the boy Marriott for Johnstonborough, which is another good acquisition for them, and they've still got the likes of Jamie and some of the good players that have been there for the last few years as well. So they've got quite a settled good squad, and Kevin's done a bit of business adding a bit of quality there, and it's going to make them much better. And how well they finished the season last year, then that's just them kicking on for the start of this year. So it maybe show you that Muirkirk will be a good side, because to go away from home, score 4 goals, keep a clean sheet, man, it doesn't get any better first game of the season than that.
Well, they've got a manager who's been there for a few years. They've got a bit of continuity in their team, so they've probably not had a huge upheaval as some of our teams have had this season. Which
100%, they've got more consistency there. They're going to a lot the same.
I do think they'll have a good season this season. Final game, and it's one of the ones where it was kind of bittersweet for me, where I was like, because I predicted that Wishaw did really well this year, but I actually think the Ants are going to be so difficult to beat this year. 1 each for the two of them, that's a cracking result for it.
See, at the end of the day, you know what Danny boys like, not me. Danny will have his teams fired up every single week. Do you know what I mean? He'll have his boys fired up, and they've got some good quality football players in there. They're not going to just run about battling. The boys can go and play football as well, and he'll be wanting them to play football. So for that, it's a point a piece. The two of them get off the mark. Nobody's lost the game. And then they go and work on. I can't really comment. I don't know how the game's worked out, but 1 each is no the worst result for both sides.
For either, I know exactly. Right, we'll move on to Division 3. Ardrossan 2, Carluke 1, Bellshill 1, Kello 3, Finnart 5, Girvan 1, Irvine Bix 2, Larkhall 3, Lanark 1, Villaclyde 0, Lugar 1, East Kilbride 1, Newmains 0, Rye 1, Royal Albert 1, Lesmahago 3, Saltcoats 2, Vale Leven 2. I will start on Finnart. Great result, absolutely brilliant first game in the 3rd division, promoted last season. Great result for Brian. The boys, they're going to cause some issues in that league. They're going to be a good team.
They've already had me thinking about, because I've backed Girvan for the league, didn't I? And I still going to discount them after the first game of the season. So that is very impressive for Brian and Finnart. I think to win the game 5-1 is unbelievable. First game of the season, they must have really came out the traps and really flying and really been on their day, and everybody must have been bang at it. So great result for them, and quite deservingly so. They got up and they got promoted, and it just shows you that they're going to be a force in that league next year. That they're in. Listen, we knew they would be, man, because the way Brian will have them, and the togetherness of that team, I'd imagine, and they're all pals and that as well. They're not going to be easy for any team to turn there. So that's one of the top results as well.
You know what it's like Finnart and that playing up Springburnies and kind of out Glasgow Greenway. For these scheme teams, they're always hard to beat.
Aye, mate.
Get off your phone.
No, mate, Mark Young just messaged me, mate. So I don't know what he's saying, mate, because this hasn't been put out yet. So.
He's heard you. East Kilbride, your favourites to win the league. Absolutely burst my cup this weekend. Sean Winter missed a penalty in the last couple of minutes.
I didn't miss a penalty to me in that Legends game, did they?
Nah, they didn't, mate. But they missed. Sean missing that penalty done my cup. Do you know what I think I might do? Just
do you know what he done? But see on his Twitter, have you seen his ankle? The picture of his ankle.
I know.
That's trying to take the dairy off his penalty, but.
Nah, that's not the reason he missed his penalty. I'm thinking for a wee vanity project for myself. Maybe see if we can do a wee charity thing when we did the betting thing last year. I might do, since you can't gamble, now I can, because I'm not involved with any clubs. I might do a PG picks every week, and if we win, we can put it towards charity or something like that later in the season. I'll speak to our good friends at McBookie.
But tell you, on what you were saying, Lugar are going to be a different proposition this year, mate. New management team in, and it's a good management team. I see Johnny Bailey's in there as well, he's been an ex-gaffer at Troon and that and all, so they're going to get a good pull down there, a good pull for players, and what that result's shown is they're not going to be running about the bottom of that league. They're going to be getting up, trying to get results against the better sides, and they're going to try and have their own aspirations to push on, mate. So I think that they'll be a wee one that no surprise. That's a lot of people that know that management team, but they'll do well this year.
See, when you look at this league, you take the Finnart and Girvan game out, there is not one doing in there every game.
I think I looked at all the games, PG, across them on. There wasn't pure downs like last season. You were getting double figures in how many teams were like taking 6s, 5s, 6s, 7s, 8s, 9s, and all that. Whereas this season, right for the get goes already showed because their Saltcoats got a Saltcoats, know what I mean?
If they're being 2 up as well.
If they're 2-0 up, I didn't even know they were 2-0 up.
I'd be disappointed with that. I saw the goals for their game today. They'll be disappointed because that's 2 up, but I think that's maybe an issue. The boys haven't been winning, so they've maybe.
I think that's some result, and then now I know how disappointed they'll be that they've only taken a point.
Because that's like this is just me thinking they've been used to losing all the time, and I think that maybe see if they had won a few games in that and they're 2 up, they probably don't lose that. They maybe get a wee bit more calm.
Yeah.
But when you've not been winning games, you've been losing.
You see the first goal, mate. You just start getting deeper and deeper and deeper, don't you? And then
you're in for
character for Villa leaving right enough, but at the same time, Saltcoats. But it's good that I'm chuffed that they've got off the mark quickly with a point. But at the same time, I never knew they were 2-0 up, mate. So they will be very disappointed because that could have been an amazing start for them.
I know, exactly. Moving on to my favourites for the league title, a wee 1-0 win for Dorai away in New Mains. If I'm being honest, I thought they maybe won by a couple of goals there, but Chris will be delighted to get the win, and it's a clean sheet.
See, I think New Mains, what's happened was New Mains played us know that in a friendly just before the season started and stuff, and
it looks worse.
It looks what it wasn't it that it probably helped them because people are probably thinking you're going to get down there. And that was never going to be the case with Davey and that. And by the way, see now I'm down there, see the work they're doing after part down there, PG, mate, unbelievable, mate. I saw
the goals for your game, the highlights and that, and I was really impressed. It looked nice. It looked
the part's probably the best it's been amazing, and I don't think they would think I'm speaking out of turn with saying that. But what they're doing round about the park as well, the changing facilities, the wee players lounge and all that, the way they've got it going, the food and the hospitality that they're putting on is brilliant. They've got a food bank there and all that. So what New Mains are doing is brilliant, and then it's just showing you that Dalry are tipping to win the league and they've won the game 1-0. So they're not a million miles away in terms of being ready to compete in the league and take points and accumulate points in the league. So they've probably played well on the day, but at the end of the day they've lost the game 1-0. But I think it's goals. They need somebody to chip in with goals for them. Do you know what I mean? It's very difficult to keep clean sheets. They need somebody maybe who's going to get them a few goals, and then that would see them kick on a wee bit. But everybody's looking for that, isn't they?
I know it's very elusive. Ardrossan beating Cumnock 2-1, very tight. I think they were 1-0 down. Managed to get a 2-1 win. It's another one where it's just first game of the season, you get the points on the board.
Job done for Ardrossan, innit? Job done for Ardrossan, but it shows you Paul and Guppy will have them organised Cumnock, and they've been down there. Because as you say, a lot of us are banking Ardrossan to be up there challenging for the title. So what they've shown is that they're not going to let teams have it all their own way. So it's Bill accounts was speaking to Gintle. He said it was a difficult game. Cumnock made it very difficult for them. So that's what you want to see. You don't want to see teams struggling. So it's good.
It's nice. It's because we were very big advocates of the guys in this league who had done a lot of downs last season, and we were both looking forward to them being in this league so that it was more competitive, and that's what you can see for that. I mean, you look at Irvin Vicks, who had a really hard time losing by a goal to Larkhall 3-2. Vela Clyde picked up at the end, but a really tough season. Lanark had a really, really hard season, getting the 1-0 win against Vela Clyde, you know what I mean? Les Mahago beating Royal Albert 3-1, but Royal Albert were losing by quite a lot of goals last season, whereas I think Les Mahago were one of the better teams in this league, and Royal Albert have only lost by 2 goals, and I think they were ahead, or they were right in it at one point.
Mm-hmm. Mate, I think that when we done the preview show, I think what the first week of results have shown us is it's going to be twists and turns, it's going to be tight, there's going to be games that we're not going to be able to call, and you can't pick a winner, and it's no plain sailing who's going to win games, and it's brilliant, mate. It's brilliant for us to sit here and talk about it and get everybody out there talking about it as well.
Definitely. We'll move on to Division 4. Friday night game, New Boys Thorn played St Peters, and it was 1-0 to St Peters. Campbelltown 3, Eglinton 1, Easterhouse 0, West Park 2, Glenvale 1, Threave 5, Kilsyth 6, Hamley Road 2, Rossvale Academy 4, BSC 0. On the Friday night game, I think that's a very, very good result for St Peters. Thorn are a good side. I think St Peters at one point, I was talking to Patty and I can't remember exactly the numbers, but I think St Peters had 10, 18-year-olds in their squad.
Brilliant, mate.
And went and beat the Thorn. That's a good side there.
I think it's a brilliant result for St Peters, mate. An absolute brilliant result for them. And nice it was on a Friday night, because I'm sure that game probably had a lot more people at it than what it would have been if it was on the Saturday. So that's probably been a right good decision, and it's been a great day for Fawn as well. Just Martin, obviously the results not been great, and I think Fawn had a few young boys in their squad. I know I seen them putting it on Twitter, and I think that St Peters a lot of young boys have come up, but they'll be better for their years' experience at the level with a lot of their players as well. But brilliant to see, mate, because at the end of the day, you want to see young players coming through, and especially boys that have represented St Peters through the levels and Fawn through the levels, and good. That would have probably been a good game, even though it's only been 1-0. But big part in that, they're the important guys see for these clubs as well, because you need that wee bit of experience and these guys that have been about a bit just to help you along your way. But that's a top result for St Peters to start the league, because Fawn's a team that I fancy today.
I'm the same, I fancy
this year.
Because you look at St Peters have got Pat. Pat was suspended or injured for Saturday. I think suspended Friday night.
That's how they won it.
Aye, a clean sheet. Mark Story, Chris Littler, guys like that who they're very experienced players. Because I know a lot of the boys obviously at St Peters are younger players in that from my time there. JD and Neil that take the team, they've had their boys for quite a few years. That team at 14s or 15s won the Scottish Cup. They won the. I've just been thrown because she just came down. A wee man's just been sick in his bed. That's what you're after. Where was I? Aye. So that team, the St Peters 20s last year, when Mason stepped up, that team won quite convincingly. Won their league last year. They're a really good side, so I think they'll definitely.
That's what I mean. The boys are. They'll have a togetherness and a good atmosphere in the dressing room, because they all know each other anyway. It's not like if I'm at a club and it's all experienced players, and then you bring in a couple of young boys and they're a wee bit lost because they're a wee bit overawed with it. At least the boys are all coming through at the same time, so they all feel comfortable and they can all hit the ground running. They don't feel as if they need to go into a shell. So, good, mate.
Definitely, because JD, the boys know how he wants to play, and he likes to play a lot of football, and that's just the way it's going to be for him. I think that they'll lose games this season due to inexperience, but I also think that they'll go and beat teams who are at the top of the table anyway, because there are a lot of good young players in that team. Moving on to both our favourites to win the league, West Park beating Easterhouse 2-0. West Park had a decent pre-season. That shows that Easterhouse aren't a bad side either. I mean, don't get me wrong, I didn't get any stuff off Grant Kelly on Twitter this week about when they lost, so I wonder if it's only going to be when they win I'm going to hear from. But that was a good result for West Park, really strong win.
I think that, and it was good. I seen the tweet for Easterhouse. I think firstly it was a great day for Easterhouse in the community, and doing it Stepford or not, they've been good to see. I think there was like 120 people there, so that's a really good turnout. That with a lot of conferences, I'm still calling it, a lot of games in the divisions above, wouldn't have even had a crowd like that. So well done to them. But listen, they've got Mark Mackay in charge. You know what I mean? Mark knows Hunters are players up this way. Hunters are good players at that to get in. So I'd give a wee bit of time. Easterhouse this year, they'll add as the season goes on, and they'll pick up results, and they'll not be too far away. But West Park, great win, clean sheet. You get boys like Stefan Graham and that playing with them. Do you know what I mean? They're going to be quality, and they're going to be tougher teams to beat in that league. So it's a great start for them. And listen, they'll not get it all the rain wide. They're a very good side, but they're going to find it difficult, because even like Threave have shown that they're
a good side. See if Easterhouse can keep they kind of, obviously it'll tail off a bit because it's the novelty at first. See if they can get themselves 50, 60 people at games and kind of have the community involved. That could be huge for them through the season. I would probably put Easterhouse as a top 5 team just based off of kind of results like that and how their pre-seasons went. I think they'll be a good side this year. And granted, when Grant had put that tweet on, I sent Martin McKenna a message like, going to tell me Easterhouse were just BAMs, and he's like, nah, they were far from it. So they weren't there in the scheme. They're a fair scheme. Anyway, Threave 5-1 against Glenvale away from home. I seen a picture of their squad, their 11 before the game. They all look like fit boys as well. They all look good. Apparently, they've got quite a few boys for Dalbeattie Star as well. So they're going to be a good side.
I've heard that. They've took some players for the Lowland League have went and signed for them this season, and listen, that's just we just didn't know enough about them. But I'm sure after Saturday's result, and I'm sure if what we're hearing now a wee bit more coming at them and try to follow them a wee bit more on social media and stuff, that they'll be a good side and they'll be a tough team to topple. But to go away from home and win the game 5-1, it's a brilliant result for them.
Other new boys, Eglinton losing 3-1 to Campbelltown. We spoke about Campbelltown quite a few times for this. Campbelltown have probably the full squad this week, first game of the season.
I think they did have a good squad. I'm sure I've seen one of our players put a message on a tweet or something saying great numbers and scored a goal and all that. So if they can keep the numbers in it, it's just difficult.
That's the difficult part for them. At home, they'll always be difficult to beat because it's easier for them to get their team. Eglinton, it's kind of.
I think they've been in the game, and I think I think Campbelltown have blitzed them with two quick fire goals, and it's kind of knocked the wind out Eglinton's sails a wee bit. But I think they've hung in there and they've gave a good account of themselves, and they'll get better with the experience as well. Do you know what I mean, in games?
Last season, second place Kilsyth, taking 6 off Ham in a row. I think it's going to be a really hard season for Ham in a row. Lost a lot of players for last year. They're not the team they were. So I think it's going to be a really tough season for them. I don't think you'll get a 3rd or 4th place finish like they had last year.
It's a hard one for keeping the team, but what it does show you is what a good side and the way that Bailey's gone about his business doing it Kilsyth. You know what I mean? For them, they've had a few results that you stand up and go here, by the way, during pre-season. Very impressive results, and they've had that. So, and then to start the season with scoring 6 goals, you know what I mean? It's brilliant stuff for him, and I think it's a great start for Kilsyth, mate.
Definitely. Final game, New Boys, Rossvale Academy taking 4 off BSC.
5, I think, but that's unreal, isn't it?
It says 4 on the website.
I thought it was 5.
But for me, that's a cracking result, particularly in our first game. Because we had them down there, we don't know what they're like, we don't know how they're going to be. I've got a lot of respect for Maxie, but I don't know how he could have picked BSC to win that league. I mean, I know he said it's a good management team and stuff, but they've got too much work today for me to get. They're still a while.
Who is it? Paul Maxwell?
Aye.
He's been a bit all over the place since me and him have
you've turned
the brain working with me anymore. I used to always have to say to him, here, listen, man, come on, have a think about what you're actually saying here at times. You know what I mean? I had to bail him out many a time, so it's a tough one.
Upgrading like that. I mean, he's left and he's got hair and everything now. How's this happening?
To be honest, we expected probably better off BSC in the first game, but what it does show he is, Rossvale will have some good young players down there, because that's a great start to their league campaign.
Aye. I mean, sitting top 3 in the league after a first game with a comfortable win, it's really good for them. I think you'll see more high scoring games in Division 4 than you will in the other leagues, because there'll start a disparity in quality certain teams.
100%, mate, 100%.
But it's good though. It's good there's something we spoke about. It's good there's more teams involved. It makes it a lot more like a league. The 8 teams, it was what it was, but it was pish last year for it was the same teams playing each other all the time, but this will be a much better league, it's going to be really exciting. But that wraps us up for our first round up back. It was nice to sit and talk about football again.
Mate, it's good to be back, and it's good to the best show covers this level and all the results. And I know, listen, as you said rightly so, PG, we can't get through every result. We try and just jump and try and get as much teams as exposure as we can, or talk about their games as much as possible. But throughout the season, I'm sure you'll get covered more than enough of teams. But that was good, mate. I enjoyed that, mate.
That was good. It was good.
Especially the time, mate. That's 11:15 and we're still doing that, but mate, well done, mate.
11:15. Going to have to go and edit this now, and then go and see my son.
Hope your wee man's alright. I hope your wee bar is alright.
Aye, it's just, don't know what's wrong with him the last couple of nights. He's just
wee man, he's been feeling the same, mate. So I feel
something
your pain, mate.
Something about. But we have it won't be until next week. You'll see it after next week's roundup. We are doing an interview on Tuesday, something a bit different for us. We're interviewing Get Involved Referee podcast guys, which is Steve Conroy, who obviously top level referee who did all firm games and Premier League for years, top referee. And we have Des Roach, who a lot of guys will know through refereeing at juniors. He refereed at our time through the juniors. He was a former Category 1 referee, was assistant manager at Kilburn for a spell last year as well, and he's the assistant manager at Open Goal Broomhill 20s with Robbie Halliday as gaffer there.
One thing's for sure, mate, I ain't sitting in the fence for this one.
Do you know what? I'll probably sit in the fence for this one.
Because even you used to be a Scuddy referee, mate. Even you're copping it, mate. He's a Scuddy's a lot of yous.
I'll sit in the fence a bit more for this one. It'll be you against us this time.
You know what I mean? Here, we had a line on Saturday. Mate. He was wearing green boots, mate. Turn that up. Turn it up, mate.
Tell him we got a pair of copas on or something.
Mate, he was at the far end, thank God, mate, because if he was standing in the touchline next to me, mate, I was giving him a...
That's scandalous.
Green boots, mate.
Positively scandalous. Right, everybody. Thanks for watching.
Catch you later.
I'm gonna see it. Depends on family circumstances. I'm gonna try and get down to a game on Wednesday night in Division 3 if I can do that. So hopefully if I can do that, maybe have something on Friday, but we'll see how it goes. But everybody, thanks for listening.
Right. Catch you.
The weekend, go into your bed, mate. I've got an hour and a half to go.
No, I'm not going to my bed, mate. I'm going to watch Love Island, mate. I've had to pause it.
Go to your bed instead, man.
I had to pause it, mate. Right, catch you later.
Thank you very much. See you later.
Bye, mate.